you hear the teaching, maybe you read a book or you have a teacher, and part of the instructions is to attend a retreat, maybe, and meditate and learn how to deepen that. Part of what you may feel through that process is a sense of self that's struggling or doesn't know what to do or feels like an idiot. Believe me, I've been there. Striving, trying, learning, trying to grow, trying to relate to people. That's one of the hardest things. You go to a retreat and you have to deal with all these other people and you're trying to be conscious, trying to be authentic, and just hearing this false note of ego often. That's the point of going to a retreat, is you're going to feel self-conscious. Whatever that is in you that's blocking your way, some aspect of self, is going to become more apparent when you attend a retreat. You're going to feel like an idiot. Idiot. It's an idea. It's a conditioned set of concepts that were given to us by our parents and by society that says, you're this, you're that. It feels limiting, and in a sense it is a form of ignorance, and we feel really awkward with that. So yes, there's a sense of self that we take with us to the retreat, for example. If we're practicing by ourselves, we may struggle, but no one's hearing it. If you're at a retreat and people are present for that, it can be pretty revealing. The practice is to notice that without judgment. Usually we judge ourselves, the judgment comes up, and I'm making this gesture, like the judgment, it's like a thought, like you're this, you're that. And as awareness, we just notice it and it relaxes. Like, I don't know. The struggle is with this sense of self that seems pretty persistent and kind of rigid, perhaps. Like Lady Chiyo's example of practicing for many years and the bamboo of the bucket that's holding it together. The stress and the worry and the tension that's holding self together is like the bamboo holding her bucket together. And it gets weaker and weaker with practice. And one day the bottom falls out. So we go to the retreat and get to see ourselves. It's not pleasant. It wasn't for me. At least at first, there is progress that can be made, and we can notice that. It's prideful to feel self-important because you've meditated for a certain number of hours, or someone complimented you on your serene appearance. It's probably Botox or something, right? Your face is so still when you laugh, your skin doesn't move at all. Seriously though, we perform for each other, and at a retreat, that becomes more noticeable. We're trying to wake up, and those parts of us that resist relationship, unobstructed relationship, just honest being shared. We have these judgments and conditions, things that come up, and we judge people, and we try to keep it a secret, but our scowl is apparent, our judging demeanor. And then we see that, usually, through some process, and we're seeing self, we're seeing ego. So can you notice ego without judgment? It arises from judgment. The thought comes up and we judge. I know who I am, and I know what this is, and it sucks. The known is just, it is like an old musty box in a hoarded house you pulled out of your closet. It's got all your old crap in it, and you look at it and it's like, that's the known. It's garbage. That's hard to see without judgment. Why? Because ego's tendency to say, oh, I'm garbage. No. It's old thoughts, old concepts that don't even apply, probably. Just, is it true? The work of Byron Katie, is it true? Thought comes up, judgment, is it true? Is it true? It wears that bamboo out eventually, and there's a breakthrough that is similar to what I described. Different for everyone, but similar. everyone's different. Everyone's awakening is different because everyone has a different body, they have a different history. So in a sense, it's the same light seen through different stained glass windows or something. It's the same source, it's just everyone has a different story, a different take on it. I felt like an idiot when I would go to a retreat. I thought I knew something, and I was ready to tell you. I don't know anything. I mean, that's the realization eventually is whatever those concepts were that I just leave it at home, dude. No one wants to hear that. And it's humbling. So can you see that clearly without judging? It's like without cringing. It's hard. It's cringy, right? Cringe is cringe. So if you cringe at that, like, oh, it's so cringe, and just, can you then take that structure of cringe out and look at it? See, awareness isn't cringe. It's just aware. It's just seeing it. The cringe comes from judgment. Oh, I shouldn't be that way. What's wrong with me? And then that, what I just did, that pantomime, oh, what's wrong? That sense of wrongness or shouldn't be-ness, it's almost like you freeze it and take it out and look at it as it's happening. Just notice. And if your noticing is without judgment, it relaxes it. It liberates it. It may take a while. Like I said, these patterns are persistent. There are layers to it. Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. He says it's the pain from our past that lives on in us. It can have a structure to it. It seems solid. Just access the layers that you can, the top layers, and just keep going. It may seem like you're not getting somewhere. Just keep applying it. It could be like the structures of self are like ice sculptures, and our non-judgmental awareness are like warm sunlight. It does have an effect. It melts it. It weakens those structures of ego. In everyday society, in the way it functions, everyone's hiding behind masks in a way. It's okay. It's a convention. It's just what we do. When we're awake, we see that, and it's very kind, very gentle, and it's not a problem. And it just loves. So there's no judgment there. When you're at a retreat, say a meditation retreat, it's more likely that you're going to feel this awkward sense of self because that's the point of being there, is to see it. And if it's a really good retreat, there'll be a collective field of awareness that will really show it to you, and it'll bring things up. Typical society, say you have a work environment and you work with other people, it's not as likely to come up where you'd see yourself that way because everyone's hiding and no one's going to point it out. It's not as likely to be illuminated in that way. It could. These things do come up, but not as reliably and not as intensely or pointedly. I remember when I went to retreats, and one thing I learned is there's not a spiritual self. I would take my spiritual self to the retreat and be all spiritual, you know? It's ridiculous. We know what that is, don't we? The spiritual self. There's no such thing. I went to military school, and one of the sayings they had there was, you can't polish a turd. You can't. Good luck. You really can't polish ego. It's just rotten. It's not going to happen. And yet we bring our, so-called spiritual self to the retreat. You trot out your pithy aphorisms and try to appear wise, and it's just ridiculous. But you're lucky if you get to see yourself, and it's going to be awkward. It's going to be something in your way, and it's going to feel like you. It is awkward. It's like, oh, painful self-awareness. Oh, can you make that transition? Instead of judging it or sweeping it under the rug, you just see it. Ah, that's self. Oh, and it's usually like, ow. It's like, oh, what a piece of crap. And yet, it's as it's saying that, you take it out and look at it and see that it's not true. Because you're the one seeing it. You're the awareness that sees that aspect of self that's judging and creating a structure that we're calling piece of crap. Yeah, I used to do that. I'm not sure I use those exact words, but it's like a worthless thing. And what we do to ourselves with that is really painful. So to see it is an opportunity to be free of it.